All right. Well, welcome everybody to the call tonight. I am Michelle McCay. I am normally in Oxford, Mississippi, but I am in Nashville, Tennessee, headed to Alabama this week for some events with a lot of teammates this week and looking so forward to it. They've got me booked up for events and training and looking forward to it. And a Super Saturday on Saturday and a launch on Sunday. We're all loaded up. But what we wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, hopefully, we have lots of happy customers on, and I know we've got lots of brand partners on as well. But we wanted to talk to y'all about why you need these drops. And one reason why I believe that you need these drops, and if you haven't heard my story, just want to share that the biggest reason I feel like you need these drops, for me, I know it was for hormone balance. But my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 55 and died at 62. And we have recently learned that top researchers are saying that type 3 diabetes or insulin resistance in the brain is the leading cause of Alzheimer's. So, and we know that these drops help correct insulin resistance. Okay. So if you have history in your family, or you know of anybody in your family or your friends that have that kind of history in their life, diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, those kind of things, we know that insulin resistance is the precursor to all of these things. And if our drops help correct it, y'all, that is the main reason that I feel so compelled, so obligated to get these drops in the hands of millions. And I feel like we have to have more and more and more people sharing it where we can get the word out. So, y'all, in that sense of why you need the drops, of course, weight loss is a side effect. If we are talking about correcting insulin resistance or correcting diabetes, turning it around and preventing you from having diabetes, preventing you from having some of these diseases that we know once you get this great plant based cellular nutrition in your body and that we can possibly prevent these diseases, why wouldn't we share them with others? So that is the biggest reason why I believe we all need the drops. And of course, having the history of my own mother having Alzheimer's, I feel like I have great peace now, freedom, knowing that I am doing everything to prevent having Alzheimer's in my body because of what I am putting into my body, good cellular nutrition. So I want to bring on Cynthia Bolden. She is who introduced me to these amazing products. And I went to Cynthia on a very dark day and said, Cynthia, I am not about to have Alzheimer's. I've got brain fog like I've never had in 14 years. Y'all, searched for a solution for 14 years. And doctors put me on different medications. The brain fog would go away for a short period of time, but it always came back until Cynthia recommended a product for me called Renew. And that's not what we're talking about tonight, but because of Renew and because of the skinny drops, I know that the brain fog is gone for good. After taking these products, y'all, the brain fog went away within 3 days and has not been back in a year and a half. So, Cynthia, I want you to share from your perspective. And y'all, Cynthia is not only one of my best friends, I call her my expert nutritionist, expert herbalist. She's also my prayer partner, but we also want her to talk to you tonight about why you need these drops. Cynthia?
All right. Hello to everyone. It's so good to be here. Wow, look at everybody on the call. Um, Earlier when we started this, it was me, Michelle, and of course Todd. And then we saw the response and thought, you know what? People really want to know about, customers. How do we help people really understand the importance of being on these drops? So what I thought about all yesterday was just kind of on my mind. How should this go and how should this look? Because whenever you do something, your whole goal is to add value to it. You want people to understand and you want it to be something that can help them, their clients. Like Michelle said, we have BPs, our brand partners. Hopefully we have a lot of customers and happy customers. So the goal of the call is to make more happy customers. And I always like to say, if you're happy on these drops, you can even be happier. So what I want to talk to you about is dropper one, dropper two. Coming from a history, and let me just say this. Thank you so much, Michelle, what this is doing is bringing, it's like a lifelong dream coming true, because when you've been a practicing herbalist and a health minister for over 30 years, you see a lot, like all of us do in our careers. And so one of the things is that I can tell you from my heart to yours that these drops are like an answered prayer, because it's something that a person can easily take and see results. So what do you mean? Michelle had just talked about insulin resistance being the precursor of so many problems that people are facing. Is that you can find this under insulin resistance, syndrome X, metabolic dysfunction. The list goes on and on, although this is with a side effect of weight loss. So why do we always talk about the weight loss so much? The reason is it's because it gets people's attention and they can see it. And that's people's one of their number one prayers. They're saying constantly, how can I get this weight off? Or I'm doing everything. I'm eating right. I'm drinking my water. I'm exercising, but there's nothing happening. So why is that? Why is that is because we have a beautiful cellular system that must be fed. And that's exciting when you think about it. So whoever you are and whatever your name is, you think to yourself that we get the opportunity to have trillion of cells that must be fed the right things to keep the body in balance. So simply what we're talking about is balance. So I always like to use a term that goes like this. Let's not think of fixing anything. Let's think of feeding it because it's hungry. So dropper one, we want to just tell you about it. You can't really tell which one it is, dropper one, dropper two. So we holding them up. Dropper one brings the thyroid in balance. It causes the pancreas and your digestive systems, the organs there, to really come in balance. And what that simply means is how they're supposed to work again. It increases that metabolism. So that's why when people start taking it on, especially dropper one, for those of you that may hear sometimes that there may be a little rash, there may be a little slight headache, just very slight, or a little like flu symptoms. What's really happening here is that the body is pushing out all the things that it has taken that it didn't know it wasn't supposed to have, that has stored there. And so now it needs to be released. And one way to remember this is that your skin is your largest elimination channel. So that's why you will have a lot of maybe that feeling, that rash, or your body is going to do anything it can to protect you and push out. Okay. So what do we do about that? Something as simple as increasing the water, increasing the water, increasing the water. You want something clean, want something moved out. You don't just use soap when you want that, or some kind of cleaning solvent. You add water. So here with the drops, that's why the approved food list is so important. And that's why drinking the water and these tips are there to help the drops work. Now, let's be clear. The drops aren't magic, nor do you want them to be. You just want to be empowered to give your body what it needs, because once it gets what it needs, it knows what to do. So we want to keep that in mind. So when we get the call or when we experience these things for ourselves, we can remember that. But we want to look at our body in a different light. It gets to do this for you. It is not the drops did this or the drops did that. The drops, along with the approved food list, and your body has now been put in a position to do what it already needed to do. Okay. So as you can create that happy place or that energy in your body, you're going to start seeing good things. And then when you add dropper two, which is I call the feel good dropper. Why? Because it has your methyl B, it has your adaptive herbs. What do I mean by that? I mean your feel good herbs that actually cause the adrenal glands to be fed and to come in balance. So that's why a person can start saying, I'm sleeping better. A lady talked to me today, called me early this morning about 8:30. Here's a good example. She started the drops on July 4th. On July 4th, so what's today? July 8th. She said, Cynthia, I started the drops. She was kind of on the food list. She didn't know she was, but she was that kind of eater anyway. And she was a water drinker. The first thing that she noticed was she had chronic shoulder pain. She had surgery last year. She said that she can truly say in the past couple of days, it's 80% improved. Why can she say that? The body is that intelligent when it helps. So what has happened, inflammation is being driven out. Do you really think that she actually got drops from me to help her shoulder? She wouldn't have known that, right? So that's the beauty of it. So when we get our clients to tell us things like that, you know what you might want to say? Congratulations, your body is actually working. Wouldn't that excite somebody to know that their body is working? Is that not exciting information and news? Now, has she lost a couple of pounds? Of course she has. And she's excited, but she's pretty fascinated that their shoulder has really calmed down. And her next statement to me was, but my gut area, it's flatter. It's like it's just different, Cynthia. And last but not least, guess what she said? My mood is better, and I can tell it. Is that not wonderful? Well, I will say this is just food for thought. The digestive system has a lot, especially the liver, has a lot to do with your mood. So isn't it wonderful to have products that we get to use and suggest to people to help bring their body in balance, and their body, as it becomes in balance, will give them what like make them remember how good they used to feel. You can listen to Michelle's story. That's what she means about having these drops in the hands of many and getting it out to the millions of people, because how many people are going to the doctor day after day after day after day? Blood work may even look halfway okay or good, but they don't feel good. Or what about this scenario? I feel okay, but my blood work is not showing, but I feel something. I'm just not right, but it's not picking up or showing maybe in blood work. Now, that's not to say not to get it done, but what that says is it helps us to see how much and how empowered we are when it comes to the fact of what we really have in the drops. So as I turn it back over to Michele, my high suggestion is that be excited, make sure we know about the drops, because people are really counting on us. So if you're on the drops and you're just getting started, I say congratulations. If you're on the drops and this is what we call your discipline month, maybe your first month, congratulations. And for those that's just on the drops and have had great results, congratulations. The more that we talk about it and the more that we share our experiences, the more people really get a chance to experience this. And then we bring them the hope that they need to feel safe and to feel hopeful, that as they nourish and feed their bodies with these awesome drops, that they too will have report after report and share with their family and friends just how good the drops really are. So Michele, at this time, yeah, I think that's it. We want to talk about how do we get them, and how do we let people know more about them?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Cynthia. I appreciate you just sharing with us just how what your feeling is on the drops and why you think it's so important. Because of course, after sharing my story, a lot of times we all have certain networks that we reach out to. That's our niche, right? So my niche tends to be more women, possibly in that prime or in menopause, or just at that age where they may be having some different changes in their bodies, right? And
Right.
so for me, that's who are going to be mostly checking out my feed on social media. But I have not that I've only sold drops to that network of people. I've sold drops to younger women, to men, to older women. We all need hormone balance, and we all need correction of that metabolic imbalance or that metabolic dysfunction, like you spoke of, Cynthia. But, I like to give examples. Every day, of course, I'm talking to tons of people a day, not just our teams, but customers, a lot of customers or people asking about the drops. And this has come up a few times this week, and I wanted to share it. A lady that reached out to me that she's bought a box of drops before. And of course, just like we share on this call, how can you get your drops at the deepest discount? I'm always going to share that with people because this is my feeling. Like you said, month number one is discipline. It's
Mhm.
all about how do we take these drops, okay, right? And how do we stay disciplined? Month two is, oh my goodness, I'm starting to really feel some results. And then month three, it's amazing, right? So this gal that called me, she'd been on her first month of drops, and she said, okay, it's truth time. So this is why we're here tonight, y'all. It's not about, hey, how can I not be truthful about what I'm doing with the drops, or can I be truthful? But hey, we're all here to help you, right? So she said, I got to be truthful. I have not taken these drops as consistently as the directions told me. You were great to share all the directions with me, the booklet, what have you. And she said, I've just had a busy summer already. So that's a lot of people, right? And remember, during the holidays, a lot of people would tell you, oh, I'm just struggling staying on the drops because I've got the holidays. Or in Oxford, it's we've got football season and I want to drink and I want to eat. And I don't want to get started on the drops right now. But guess what? We tell people, you want to get started. Get started on the drops for number one. Suppress that appetite. You're not going to want all those growth foods that you've had in the past, okay? You're going to want things that are better for you because you've made a decision. Okay, no matter any season in life, we could make excuses, whether it's football season, Christmas, July 4th, Easter, Mother's Day, whatever. There's always going to be an excuse, right? But if we start on the drops and get the benefits of your appetite being suppressed, your sweet cravings being curbed, y'all, had I not started, I have no doubt I'd still be suffering from brain fog. There's no doubt because I was a sugarholic. So we all have to make the decision, are we doing this for not only the weight loss, the the correction of the insulin resistance, correction of the hormone imbalance, but for our bodies to get the greatest quality of life that we need. So she said, I was not as consistent as I need to be. How many times have we heard that when we reach out? People say, I've not been as
Right.
consistent. And guess what? I'm not going to fuss at her and say, girl, what do you mean? Are you ready to do this or not? I could do that. But I said, you know what? That is all of us. It takes discipline to take these drops. And one of my first tips is just to love on people and say, hey, but if you keep taking these drops, pretty soon the discipline, the desire is going to outweigh the discipline, right? Is that in anything that we do? So you go from from discipline to
Discipline.
desire to delight. Isn't
Mm.
that in a lot of things when we're developing habits? So you got to have the discipline. So I say, no matter what season we're in, football season, Christmas, Easter, July 4th, whatever, take your drops as directed 3 times a day. She also told me, guess what? I don't think I was taking bottle number 2 as I should have. Some people tell me they don't even take bottle number 2. I'm like, they work simultaneously together. So, y'all, my point being, we have to know what people are experiencing by picking up the phone and calling. Hey,
Right.
Sally, tell me how you're feeling on these drops. Tell me the great news. And sometimes if they're ghosting you or whatever, you can go ahead and anticipate they're not doing great. They probably haven't had the best discipline and they didn't want to tell you, they didn't want to disappoint you, right? So let's just say, as a part of helping people on the drops, it takes relationship building, right? So they got to trust you. You got to trust them because y'all, we're not going to be perfect on the drops. I bet you most of us who've been on the drops, I've been on them for 9 months. And let me tell you what my July 4th looked like. Yes, I don't say cheat because I've met my weight goal, but to keep my hormone balanced, I've got to not eat much dairy, no pork or bacon. Or guess what's going to happen when I eat pork or bacon? I'm going to have some hormone imbalance and I'm going to pay for it for about 3 days. So it took Cynthia and I probably less than 15 minutes to discover why I was having hot flashes one night. She said, what did you eat yesterday or the day before? Yeah, I broke down. I ate a little bacon because I've been a keto girl for a long time. And so I thought I could eat bacon until Cynthia educated me that bacon and pork is a hormone disruptor. So guess what I'm feeling now? Hey, that bacon was not so good that I wanted to go through these these hot flashes, and that I just lost 3 days of what all I've done for these last few months. I want to get those 3 days back, right?
Right.
So I hope that helps somebody in terms of, hey, we can replace dairy with, there's all kinds of replacements for dairy now, y'all. So if it's the half and half that you're looking for in your coffee, there's the almond plus coconut milk almond nut pods. And the creamer is nice and thick and it's just like, an amazing dairy creamer, but I like it even better now. So I'm not going to disrupt my hormones with dairy. My biggest temptation probably is bacon just because of being a keto girl for so long. But guess what? That bacon is going, that desire is going away more and more. Okay. So what I want to leave with y'all is this. If you are still buying the drops from someone as a customer and you're buying retail, okay, so you're paying, whether you're in the US or Canada, you're paying somewhere between 150 and 220 for your drops. But guess what? We have another way. So that's option one. Okay. I would not want option one if I were you. I bought these products wholesale before I ever even considered the business. I wanted the best discount. So we want you to have the best discount. So
Yes.
here's your call to action as a customer or as a brand partner. I want you to reach out to your customers and say, is it one, two, or three? Which is your choice? One is retail. That's the highest cost. Okay. You are not saving any money buying retail. Number two is you're going to save money and ask your brand partner or your friend, how am I going to save money? Okay. So the membership fee of $29.95, and you can get the wholesale options and save lots of money. Okay. Then your option number three is, what if you want to get your drops paid for or possibly free and share with other people? So that third option is save and earn. Okay. So if you're a customer, reach back to whoever invited you on this call. Tell them, I want to talk about option number two or three, saving money, or I want to talk about how I can earn money as well. And then your call to action as a brand partner, make sure you're reaching back out to your customers. Y'all, that's the only way we know if they're getting great results. Make sure you're reaching back, following up, and let's make sure that they get the best discount on their products, on their drops. And if they want to save and earn, that's my biggest goal right there, is because guess what? To get these in the hands of millions, I got to have more people that choose option number three. Because if you are wanting to save and earn, that means we've got an option of getting these drops in the hands of more and more people. So get back to the person who invited you to this call. Cynthia, thank you so much for your amazing explanation, and
Um,
always your
Thank you,
heart to
Michelle.
serve and your heart
Thank
to
you.
serve all of us. And thank each and every one of you for being on. We'll have this recording here shortly, but get back to invited you and give them one, two, or three. And we're hoping you choose two or three.
Oh,
Everybody have a great night.
you too. Thank you, Michelle.
Absolutely. Y'all too. Great night. Great Monday night, everybody.